Hey, welcome to The Explainer. If you're aiming for a tech career, you know Linux is non-negotiable. But getting ready for a big exam or, a nerve-wracking job interview, it can feel like you have to climb a mountain. Well, today, we're going to unlock a key skill that will completely change your game on the Linux command line.
So let's just get right to it. Here's the question that probably keeps you up at night. You're prepping for that big technical interview, and you've got this little voice in your head going, how am I supposed to memorize every single command, every option, every weird flag? It's super stressful, right?
Well, here's the secret. The pros? They don't even try. In fact, trying to memorize everything, that's the rookie move. The real skill isn't about having a perfect memory. It's about knowing exactly how to find any piece of information you need right away.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why we feel this pressure around Linux commands. Then, I'll introduce you to your new best friend, a secret weapon that's already built into Linux. We'll go over how to use it, how to read it, and then the best part, how to use it to nail actual interview questions. And we'll wrap up by comparing it to other tools so you look like a total pro.
The issue isn't really the number of commands. It's the insane pressure we put on ourselves to have them all memorized. We think that's what a good engineer does, what interviewers are looking for. But honestly, they're not looking for a human flash drive.
Let's be real. Memorizing every single thing is just not practical. What a hiring manager or a senior dev really wants to see is that you're resourceful. Can you figure things out on your own? Can you find the answer when you're stuck? That's the skill that pays the bills.
So how do you show them you've got that skill?
Easy. You use the tools the system gives you. It's time to introduce you to your secret weapon, a tool that's been part of Linux since, well, forever.
Meet the man command. It's short for manual, and it is the official, built-in guide to everything in Linux. We're talking complete documentation for commands, config files, you name it. If you need to know how something works, this is the ultimate source of truth.
And using it could not be simpler. You just type man and then the name of the command you're curious about. So, for example, man ls brings up the entire detailed manual for the ls command, the one you use to list files. This one simple pattern is your key to unlocking basically everything on the system. Okay, so you type man ls and whoa. It can look like a giant wall of text at first, but don't worry, getting around in there is actually super easy once you know a few simple shortcuts. Let's break down how to navigate it like a pro.
The whole workflow is incredibly simple. So we know how to open a page. To move around, just use your arrow keys or page up and page down. But here's the game changer. To search, just hit the / key, /. Type whatever you're looking for and hit enter. To jump to the next result, just press N. And when you're done, just hit Q for quit. That's it. Seriously, those few keys are 99% of what you'll ever need.
All right, you ready to level up? To really show an interviewer you know your stuff, you need to get that man pages aren't just one huge file. They're broken up into numbered sections, and knowing the difference is what separates the experts from everyone else. Now, there are a bunch of sections, but these three are your bread and butter. Section 1 is for regular user commands. Think ls, grep, the stuff you use every day. Section 5 is really cool. It's for file formats, like the structure of the password file. And Section 8 is for system admin commands, the heavy-duty stuff that usually needs sudo. Just knowing these three tells people you get the lay of the land. Okay, so here's where this gets powerful. Let's say you want to look up the file format for /etc/password, not the password command for changing your password. How do you do that? This is where sections are your superpower. You type man5 password. That 5 tells man to pull the manual from Section 5 specifically. This is an expert-level move that interviewers love to see. And that brings us to the fun part, the payoff. Let's actually run through a few common interview questions. This isn't just theory anymore. This is about taking what we just learned and turning it into a confident answer that helps you land that job. All right, you're in the hot seat. The interviewer asks you this. This is a practical question to see if you've actually used the tool. So what's your answer?
Oh, that's easy. I'd press the / key, type the word I'm looking for, and hit enter. Then I can just press the N key to cycle through all the matches. See? Simple, direct, and shows you know exactly what you're doing.
Okay, now for a bit of a curveball.
This is the question that separates the people who've just heard of man from the people who actually understand it. This tests your knowledge of those sections we just talked about.
And here's how you knock it out of the park. You say, I'd use the command man5 password. And then, here's the kicker, you add the Y. That tells the man command to pull the page from section 5, which is for file formats, instead of the default user command from section 1. Boom. That's an A+ answer right there.
Last one. And yeah, it seems super simple, but you would be shocked at how many people freeze up on the basics. It's a quick check to see if you've really done this before.
And the answer is just as simple. You just say, you press the Q key. That's all. It quits the program and puts you right back on the command line. Clean, correct, and shows you're comfortable. Okay, one last thing to really round out your knowledge. To look like a real pro, you should know how man fits in with the other help tools out there. Knowing which tool to use and when, that's a sign of experience.
The other big one you'll see is the -help flag. Here's the difference in a nutshell. Man is the textbook. You go there when you need to do a deep dive and really understand all the options. -help, on the other hand, is like the cheat sheet. It's for a quick syntax reminder when you're thinking, what was that one flag again? It's fast, but it's not as detailed, and it isn't standardized. So, textbook versus cheat sheet. Easy.
All right, let's boil it all down. What do you absolutely need to walk away with? 1. Man is your #1 tool for documentation in Linux. Period. 2. Master the basics of navigation. Scrolling, searching with /, and quitting with Q. 3. Remember the key sections, 1 for commands, 5 for files, 8 for admin stuff to find what you need fast. And 4, use all of this to show interviewers that you're not just a memorizer, you're a problem solver.
So there you have it. You now have the knowledge that truly separates the beginners from the professionals. But, knowledge is only potential power. The only thing left is to make it real. So, what are you waiting for? Open up a terminal and put it to the test.